Hey everybody, welcome to this week's layout update. This is what I'm working on tonight. I should have filmed this area before I started painting, but this area of the road was actually gray, the same gray paint that I use everywhere else, and that I later go through with concrete paint over top. And it was gray from about right in here to the grade crossing, so I blended all this in and painted that. I still need to finish this grade crossing. This is one of those projects that just kind of got lost in the sauce. I totally forgot about till I got over here just now. So this week I should be cutting some railroad ties and putting them in between the rail and the road there, and hopefully it'll look okay when I'm done. Usually it looks okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say yes, it's going to look okay. Okay, so this whole stretch of the road here, I've also just finished painting, so it is wet. It'll get some stripes and maybe some white lines on the edge here and there in a couple of spots. So let me go ahead and show you this road before I even start painting. So you can still see it's gray, it's kind of dirty. I got to sweep it off, and then I got some patching that I put in there, and I'm not worried about smoothing it out, because I think once you throw your paint on there and then you go through and weather it a little bit, just some India ink or something like that, I think those cracks will highlight, and I think it'll look pretty decent. You see this whole road here, and there's my broom hat, and I got some street signs to put in, and I've noticed some of my street signs are a little big, so those might not get used, but I'm gonna do this whole street. This is Railroad Street right here that you're looking at. I still need to name this road and this road. I think this might be Enterprise. This might be Enterprise Street. I haven't decided yet. And then I have this parking lot back here. I need to paint all this gray as well. And also the city streets here in Cartridge. And this is a private drive. I'm not gonna worry about naming that, but I will probably paint all the way to the edge of this driveway, just to the right side of that crossbuck there. And I won't worry about this right now. You know, maybe I should paint that. Now I'll go ahead and paint all this. I'll paint all this. This is the location of Bridge Tower. It is a Pensy tower, and for those of you who are not familiar with my layout, my Pensy and my Allegheny Midland, they share trackage over this bridge, and this is the junction where the Allegheny Midland branches off to the right, and the Pensy goes straight ahead. There is a future bridge project coming up that will replace all of this. It'll have crossovers here, a 3D printed concrete viaduct, and a massive double track bridge that has a, I don't know what, like an arch on it? I don't know. Like maybe a giant Warren truss? I don't know. I'll show you that here in a little bit. But lots of work to do over here. This room should get some love throughout the next 4 or 5 months. And then as soon as it starts warming up in the big train room, I'll start working on that again. But, you know, of course, whenever I have warm days, I'll be out there working on that side. But I'm going to try to touch up in here a little bit. I really neglected this back room. I got some maintenance to do, and most of this has been in place for about 2018, 2019, something like that. This is all the very first part of the layout that I built, and I got a lot of stuff I want to do in here. I want to paint like a green ridge, you know, down this wall, really around the whole wall, kind of like that background. And then of course I got to figure out this part, how I'm going to make this look behind the bridge when I put that in. And I got this window covering I need to make so it will blend in like that one and that one, so you just won't see the window, but I can still open up the window and get airflow underneath. So lots of stuff going on. I'm going to try to concentrate in here for just a little bit, and then jump back on the other projects all over the place. But I just want to touch it up in here so I can start shooting some videos again, and you know, touch up what the stuff I've already messed up. Like, you know, I messed up a lot of stuff, and lessons learned right here. That's a hard lesson I learned. But it actually still looks pretty decent. But so let me get back to painting. You know I can ramble, and I will show you this when I get it finished. All right, so it's been, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes since the last part that you just watched. And you can see the difference, especially, you know, in the light right here, where I've painted and I still have yet to paint. Now, just a second ago, I talked about mistakes that I made. Well, here's another one. I used a very fine Ballast right here, and it looks like crap. I cannot stand the way it looks. It's like an ultra fine. I thought it would look good. I thought it would look right, and I only did maybe 6 feet, but it was so, I hate it so much that I just gave this stuff away to my friend Tony, who has an in-scale layout. I said this probably look okay for in-scale, but you can see the difference between the medium and the ultra fine. So I do not recommend ultra fine. I talked about this in a video a long time ago, but last time I shot a video over here and did even work over here, it's probably been 1.5 years. So once again, lesson learned. All right, let me get back to painting. All right, so I've been at this for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna back up here to bridge. Of course, I'm stepping on dog toys. Okay, so where bridge tower will sit all the way up to that obvious line in the middle of the screen, that's gonna be rock. I remember writing that down before. You see as I come through here, I made the road just a hair bit wider, so it'll be 2 lanes and it goes down to 1. I went ahead and did all the, well, you get out of my way. I did all the streets and the parking lot areas of Cartridge. I did Enterprise Street and Depot Street / the parking lots for the depot that will sit on the Allegheny Midland side. And this area that is still gray is the, what are the things called? The covered areas of the passenger platforms. I cannot remember what it's called. And the depot. And I also had the very bottom of the bottle of paint for Park Street right here, going back to the Veterans Memorial Park. And usually on Veterans Day, I do something with my little area right here. I'm gonna spruce this up a little bit. You probably recognize that concrete base. That's an old Tyco or Lifelike kit. Veterans Memorial, that is, actually. And I took a 2-inch Army man that was green. I fixed his helmet so it didn't look like a Soviet helmet. Modified his weapon a little bit so it looked right. Put a flag behind it. Now that flag will light up at some point in the future. And my nice little memorial for all our veterans out there. This is a Johnny Lightning Sherman tank. It is too small, but when you stick it back there in the brush, you can't really tell the difference. All right, had a big sneeze come on me there. We'll get up here and give you a little elevated view. So this is Black Hawk Industries. Most of this will probably be removed and something else put back here. This was a temporary industry that I just kind of cobbled together out of a bunch of kits that I had. Threw a couple of backdrops up there, and I never really liked it, and so it may get pulled out here, which, of course, you know, I've already violated the rule. I worked at the front of the layout and I left the back of the layout, but, you know, I got that big extended ladder. What the heck's it called? I can lean on it and get over there, so I'm not too concerned about it. But if I do take it out, I'll probably take it out right here at this switch, this Y. And those are number 4s, and that's really the reason I don't like it, because I was being cheap. The cartridge ammunition factory back there, I'm thinking about taking that out as well, just because you're not going to be able to get to the turnout, and you're not going to be able to work the industry. So before I built a town, it was okay. I guess kind of okay, but I may get rid of that as well. And that was kind of a cobbled together kit as well. It's just like 3 or 4 casket factories and something else. I think there's another one back there. And I could get about 5 cars back here. So if I take this out, I'm not sure what to do with that second track back there. Maybe I just put a grain elevator or something back here or something. I don't know. I will figure it out, but something needs to be done that's a lot better than what we got going on right here. But needless to say, I ended up thinning out the paint just a little bit to get that entire bottle to make it to the parking lot here. But I like the way it looks. I'm gonna let it dry overnight. I'll come back out here tomorrow, and I'll lay some stripes so you have a parking lot there. this funny little section right in the middle of the screen. You'll have stop signs and you know, some road striping up here real soon. I think this will enhance the shots of trains coming around this curve right here. Probably some more trees in the background there on the left, and maybe one or two more here in the front. I got a crossing tower to put in right here, and a whole lot of people need to get put in place and everything. So I threw some cars in over here at Mrs. Robinson's house and the bank president's house. You got the milkman there. I don't know what that guy's doing, but he's been there for a while. And we are going to make this whole area look great again. And I like this little scene with the background right there, that cliff and stuff like that. I did that a couple years ago. This was a first attempt at working with a large piece of foam. This is one giant piece from the middle of the screen all the way to right here. This is all one piece that can be taken out, and I did take it out a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago when I made the window covering there and all that. So I mean, it still can come out, but a lot of work needs to be done over here. I want to extend the green paint on the wall. Right, you can see, you barely see the line right there in the middle of the screen. I'm gonna extend it all the way to the corner, and I think it would help blend this little piece right here a lot better. I mean, this doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna bring that green down a little bit, and I think I might lighten it up so it matches the foam a little more. Plus, I got a lot of work to do on the foam. This was only one coating of ground foam and all that stuff, and I was still, like I said, everything out here was all an experiment. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just did it. And if it turned out decent, I left it, and if I didn't like it, I made a mental note to tear it out or redo it. And I started redoing some spots here and there, but I think I have my skill set down pat where I can do a pretty good job and make things look a whole lot better than what they do. So this is what I'm gonna work on over here, and then I need to make a trip up to Huntington, West Virginia, and buy those 3D printed viaducts, those concrete viaducts that'll go here. I'm only about 5 hours from Huntington. I wouldn't mind going up there, spending the night watching some trains anyway. I got some kind of family, kind of not family, good close friends, you know, up there in Parkersburg, which is about an hour north. So maybe I can, I guess I got some, my in-laws are up there for sure, but we know some other people. So maybe I can make a little weekend trip of it and save myself some shipping and don't have to worry about my 3D printed 18-inch bridge sections getting broke by the post office, because our mailman who lives across the street, you know, is really good about telling us, hey, you know, we picked this up today and it was all busted up. So we don't really want to spend $300 on some 3D printed viaducts and have them broke up. And lastly, for this little segment, I'm going to talk about this Penske Alco C628. I picked this up and probably about 5 others, maybe 5-6 months ago. And this one was already built, all the detail parts on there. It's DC, it's a Stewart model. And while working on a Broadway Limited Y6, I pulled the non-sound decoder out of that and I threw it right into this one. It took me like 10 minutes. And just so I could run this around and see it at the head of a train. And I really like the way it runs. There's a lot of space between the motherboard and the top of the car body here, so I can really pack in a bunch of weight. So I'm really excited about getting the 5 of these up and running. 2 of them would be Allegheny Midland, and you know, for use on the mountain division, the wheeling division, and the mountain grade that I have to build. They will be super heavy and should be able to pull maybe a 50-60 car empty coal train up my 1% grade and around the layout. And that's the hope. But I really like the way this runs. It's kind of smooth, a little louder than what I was expecting, but I think once it has sound and everything in there, it'll be just fine. But really excited about that. Maybe I'll show you a run by here later on. And let's see what else we're working on over here. I've been quite busy. The weather's been crappy. I can't do a lot of stuff outside. I can't cut the grass for the last time. And I can't get the saw out and start working on the floor because all the rain. So I've just been out here playing. Okay, so the little red Bobcat is a Whistle Stop Models 3D printed kit that came with the, what was it, the Rail to Road kit. And I painted it up today. I know you don't ever see them red and black. I just did red and black just because I wanted something different. Most of the Bobcats I saw are white. And even the John Deeres were yellow, all the Caterpillars were yellow and all that stuff. So I just went with something totally different to match the dump truck that I painted. And the bucket loader there is, I think it's a Rivanna kit or a Riviana kit. I mean, it's all over the place on there. This was a free download from some website. My buddy John Quanra, my God, that's a mouthful. Starts with a C, sounds like a Q, is Cajun, that's all I can say. But John printed this off for me, and this was the most challenging 3D kit that I've ever had to work on. If you're familiar with 3D kits, they all have a certain number of extra structural, for print purposes only, parts on there. And this had a whole bunch of stuff I had to clean off, all down here, all in here. I mean, all up in here. And it was an absolute pain in the ass. They were even up in here inside the cab. And they were everywhere. And I was like, I don't think any of this is really necessary. But at the same time, I'm not a 3D designer. And I was really aggravated. I mean, it was even up in here. So I really had to spend like an hour trimming all that stuff off. And every now and then I'll find one that's still there. There you can see it, Rivanna on the bottom. Focus. There you go. And it was a pain. But now that it's done, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, the paint job ain't that great, but at the same time, you know, in the photos and you're standing back a little bit to the naked eye, it looks pretty good. So that's going to go someplace. Even though it's not in my era or the transition era, it will still look perfectly fine someplace tucked away in a corner, you know, as long as you don't see a steam locomotive running by there or something like that, I think it'd be fine. I never know. Those might have been out in the 60s. I don't have any idea of bucket loader history or anything like that. So, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. I definitely know the Bobcat's out of the era, but, yeah. It might be other. I'll probably give that to Dwight. But I will go ahead and cut this off here. And maybe over the rest of the week, because today is Monday. I still got, 6 days for the next video come out. Maybe I'll film some more stuff. And talk about a few more things. I'll definitely show you the update on the roads. And with that... Hey everybody, got a train running by here and I'm about to show you what I've been working on over the last couple of days. Coincidental timing here, I guess. Got my Alco C625 demonstrator. These never existed in life, but they were announced, but they were just never built. And my Fantasy Wheeling C425, pulling probably 85 or 95 coal train here, or car coal train here. So, go ahead and show you what I've been working on over here at Main Street in Tunnelton. I put in some double stripes there, no passing lanes. Put in a couple stop signs, painted some stop signs. Put in the stop lines over here, and this little crazy narrow road and the white line, the edge of the road. Put this in right here as well. Now look, I've been fussing at you this entire video. Stay out of my way. Now stop. I love you. See the mess he's made? He tore up a toy. I don't know where all these toys came from, but they keep coming in. And every time I turn around, Winston is back in here. He loves being in here with me too. So being loved is rough, I guess. And also I put in some stripes here on the highway. And I ran out of yellow, so I have to go buy some more. And then I'll start working on that again. I got some no passing zone to put in right there on both sides. And for the life of me, I can't think of what that is. It's yellow on one side and yellow solid on one side and yellow dashed on the other going down the middle of the road. Has got to double check and make sure I'm thinking of it right, because you don't really think about it when you see it on the highway. So I went to Mike's Trains the other day to buy like one thing and ended up spending a bunch of money, of course. Picked up these two Monon box cars. Both of them got different numbers, and I don't think I have any Monon box cars. And grew up in Illinois, so I always kind of read about the Monon, and it was L&N when I was a kid, so never got to see any Monon locomotives, but I grabbed some anyway. And I need to put KD couplers on there, but at least on one of them. And I think metal wheels on one. Get out of my way. Now I'm stepping on you. I picked up this containerized load for a gon. It's like $4. And I've actually seen pictures of those, so that is prototypical. But I don't have one of those on the layout running around, so I went ahead and grabbed that for just something different, you know, to throw all my empty cars load and everything. I picked up some coil car loads, or some coil loads, and I went through and I modified this Pennsylvania car. I think this is an old Tyco car or something. It's cheap. Dwight gave it to me, so I threw some rough weathering on there. I redid the stirrups with some wires, so they looked a lot better. I think I put some old metal wheels on there, and then some KD couplers, and called it quits. But I put some plastic, some white plastic down there, which I will paint black at some point to it holds the loads in place. And if I really want to, I can put more loads in there. It goes all the way across. These loads actually had plastic, you know, coil holders, I guess, and I just super glued them into these 50-foot gons, and I tried to keep most of it Van Swearington Road, except for the Pensy car. So, and I figured, you know, if I screw that one up with those plastic pieces I soldered, or I glued in there, and I tore it up, and no big deal, right? Also picked up these Erie Lackawanna covered hoppers. I really don't like buying anything 60s, but, you know, since my year goes up to 66, and they kind of fit in with a lot of other covered hoppers that I have, that when I'm running these behind a steam locomotive, at least you won't be able to, at least they don't jump out at you as being the wrong thing, you know, so it'll be all right. And this N&W covered hopper's been sitting up there for a couple of months and just beating at me to buy it, so I went ahead and bought it and added it to my covered hopper concrete train extravaganza I got going on. All right, 6302 has been running real good. I've got probably 50 or 60 scale miles on that, so it's all broke in pretty well. It's going to get a sound decoder here soon. If you remember back to when I had the MRC Lima C420 that I was working on, I got two of these. I spent a whole lot of money. I think I spent about $75 on these two locomotives total. And I spent $130 on new wheels and axles from Northwest Shortline, and another $150 on decoders, speakers, and motherboard with a current keeper in there, right? These things are junk. So I wasted so much money on these, so much money. The power pickups are horrible. It's just a wire that touches the back of the wheels, and it is pathetic. So being that I've got so much invested in this, I'm going to just make it a dummy for right now, because it does look like a nice model. And I'm going to put the electronics in to the 6302 over there. And what I'm going to do is, at some point, I'm going to start shopping around for some copper power pickups that I can permanently attach to the inside of the trucks that will be able to touch the outside of the wheels, or the inside of the wheels, I guess, and provide better power, more consistent power pickups. Because even with a current keeper, this thing won't really run too far around the layout. I mean, I was just running it back and forth on this track in the foreground, and it just, I don't know what's going on with it. It's not getting good signal because of the power pickup, of course. And then the other day I did have it running pretty decent on the main line, and I turned it off, you know, speed step 0. And about an hour later, I found it on the other side of the layout because it never stopped. It just kept going. So, I mean, that aggravated me too, because it ran into something and derailed cars and all that stuff. So, a little bit of a paranormal possession going on there, we'll call it, because, yeah, it happens. Been having a lot of trouble with my NCE system lately. My wireless control, I'll be hitting buttons on it, and it's not doing anything. Brand new batteries, and locomotives and trains are not responding. And then I've looked down and said, I looked down at the controller and it said speed step 0, and the train was still rolling around the layout. So, I mean, I don't know if I got controller issues or the main power supply, power commander and all that stuff is going bad. The base station, I don't know what you call it. So I got to figure all that stuff out. Okay, let's go back to this road. This is what I've been working on. Put some signage up too. I don't know if you've noticed that. So once again, I got some yellow dash lines, you know, going down the middle here. I ran out, so where they stop is where they stop. I like the way this is looking. It enhances the model, this scene quite a bit. Adds a little bit of realism. And let's see, I got a railroad sign. With a little railroad track sign coming up there and a T intersection coming up. It's not quite a T intersection, but it's good enough for right now. All the stop signs that are yellow, I painted the steel rod behind there, silver, and the back of the sign silver. Yellow was the color of stop signs previous to or prior to 1952. I think I mentioned that already. So, you know, I'm sure they were still around into the 60s until they all got swapped out. Been working on, I also painted all this road too. So, I mean, but I think I talked about that in the video already. So all this has been painted and lines have been applied. And this has all been painted, lines and applied. Some signage. That's a tonnage sign. And then coming around here. So Cartridge has been getting some attention. Downtown Cartridge has got quite a bit of attention. A lot of signage, road stripes, parking lot stripes. Over here as well. All the way over towards the crossing for Mrs. Robinson's house in the banker. The stop signs and stop lines, of course. And I got a little four-way stop going right there. A couple of ladies walking across from the movies. I picked up a couple stop signs because I ran out. So I'm going to have a stop sign on, of course, this side of the road. And then there's going to be another road over here. Where these cars are, I will put some white stripes, and this will be parallel parking, as you can see. And then I'll put some yellow lines on there and yellow dashes. And this road will come back here behind, or I guess in front of the passenger station. And that's Park Street right there, and then we'll just stop right over there. I decided to put the elevated crossing tower on the rear set of tracks. That's the Allegheny Midland main line. And take them off of the Pincy main line. And at some point, I will automate these two crossings, these grade crossings, but right now they're just going to be just like this and stay this way for the time being. Got a lot of projects going on, so I got to pace myself, right? 35 mile an hour sign, or a 30 mile an hour sign, but the way I drive be 50. Another weight limit sign, and this is Railroad Street right here. This is Enterprise Drive, and I haven't figured out the name for this one. I might have said it already and forgot, so that's why I write a lot of stuff down. So I like this scene here when I get some buildings on the left side, and all you see is this. I gotta make that scene look pretty deep, even though it's only 24 inches or maybe even 23. All right, I added some ballast on the main line here. It's looking pretty good. I just ran that train over it. Everything ran well. And I will work on some ballast from this crossing here up to the switch, and probably stop there for a little bit until I finish the section with the bridge. I still need to replant some trees, and I got to ballast the Allegheny Midland track here in the rear, and I got a lot of work to do on the park and stuff. I'll probably work on that over the winter time. It was a whopping 60 degrees outside today, pretty nice out, sunny, and it was nice and 70 degrees here in the train room. And I was pretty happy, so no problems at all here. I don't want to hear it. Let's see, I think that's about it besides working on this locomotive right here. Been trying to take off the Norfolk and Western off of this Broadway Limited tender, and it's been a pain in the butt, so we'll go ahead and just take a little break on that because it's aggravating. And this locomotive's had a lot of issues. And I thought I had sound in it, took it apart. Turns out, no speaker, no sound, no nothing, just a decoder. And it's like, not a problem. Talked to Rod over at Bates Locomotive Works. You can find him on Facebook, Bates Locomotive Works. And he just so happened to have I think it's Paragon 3. Yeah, Paragon 3 out of a Y6B. So he gave me this decoder, said it worked and sounded good. Gave me some speakers as well. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this. Will you stop, dude? You are the most attention-wanting dog I've ever had. Of course, you know, when the camera's on, he wants attention. When the camera's off, he lays down and he acts right. I just got to figure out how to integrate it and plug it in to the locomotive and get all these little connections and stuff like that. So I may or may not be able to use it. We will figure it out. But other than that, that's this week's layout update. I am working on the hardwood floor in the hallway. I had a couple of setbacks. Can't find the staples to go with the the floor nailer that I bought. So we had to order some. My wife is extremely ticked off because we started the project and I wasn't happy with the way the nail gun was holding the wood down, because it just didn't hold it tight. It had a little bit of flex to it, a little bit of play, and I wasn't happy with it. So I told her, let's go ahead and go get the nailer, or the floor nailer, and use staples. And she's a little irritated right now, but it'll be all right. She'll be just fine. And I'm used to her being irritated with me, so it's okay. It is what it is. But thank y'all for watching. Go watch another video. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit like, leave a comment. And lastly, I went from 9,000 views in a week to 1,500 views. I don't know what YouTube is doing. I went from record profits last month because I think I made $102. So I got paid. So you have to make $100 or a month or you don't get paid. So normally I get paid every other month, about 160 bucks, and not a big deal. I think I've made $900 in the last 14 months, and YouTube's only paid me about $750. So I don't know where the rest of the money's at because they ain't giving it to me yet. And my views are like down. Like we went from like 2,000 views a video to like 500. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with YouTube and the algorithm and all that crap, but I was pumping out videos and shorts and trying to do as much as I could to keep the views up. And this week I've just been too busy to mess with it. And this is only probably the 4th time I've been out here in the last 8 days. And I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's aggravating that you need to be consistent. And you know, I try to be consistent and post videos on the same days, the same times, and stuff like that. And they are just, I don't know, just hosing us over. I don't know. But this is everybody across the board. So do me a favor, watch another video and make sure you hit that like. Hype this video. I think that I can't hype my own videos. And I think I've only had 1 or 2 videos that got any hype points, but whatever that means, hype it. I think that puts it in the algorithm a little more. So help me out with that. And thank you very much. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day.